Here we are. How are you?
I'm good, yeah, and it's really nice to speak to you. Congratulations on the movie. I loved it. It's great. All your movies that I've seen so far have been fantastic. I mean, they're really out there, really different to anything that's kind of being made. So I loved it. Yeah, it's great. Fantastic
Oh,
movie.
thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like this one. It's a special one for me. I feel like it's a more personal movie and it's quite a roller coaster. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, something. I mean, you've got a really distinct visual flair. I mean, I'm sure loads of people have told you that already, but this one is kind of really. It's along. It's kind of like what was it? Los Parecidos was quite a similar kind of the visual kind of
Yeah.
aesthetic was quite similar. I'm guessing. I mean, obviously, you worked on this for about 9, 10 years. You had it ruminating on the idea for this movie. So I'm really curious. I imagine it was really kind of you specifically went for specific visuals because of the story that you tried to tell. I'm guessing you do that all the time. But specifically for this one, why did you go for that very kind of red and maroon tones there to kind of what did you want to kind of create with that visual style that you gave to this film?
Well, yes, I'll tell you all about it. Look, first of all, 8 years passed from the moment where I first wrote the script to the day the movie was released. 5 years passed from the moment I wrote the script to the day we got financed, and then the other 3 years from finance to the movie being released. In the middle of all that, a lot of things happen, right? Two children, two other movies, which are Ebola and parallel, a pandemic, many things happen in those
Pandemic,
five
yeah.
years. The family, yeah, but uh, the visual style was always part of my vision for the movie. And
Right.
a lot of people ask, like, why did you go in to so extreme? Look, a lot of people love it. A lot of people absolutely
Yeah.
hate it.
No, I love it because I mean, like Los Parecidos, like I said as well, it's
Yeah, and well,
I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't accept it because a lot of people they don't like reading subtitles, they don't like watching black and white movies, these kind of
yeah.
things. So it's quite a daring choice to make on your half as well, on your behalf.
Yes, it's not. I wouldn't call it completely black and white, but I do see
No,
the
no,
point.
no, sure. But I was just saying that
It,
people don't
it's
like
it's
to
it's
watch
a
those kind of movies, you know?
it's a DSAT look, and I do see how DSAT look can be a bit thrown off for some.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a matter of taste. Well, I actually really look how DSAT looks. Whenever I look at a movie that has like full saturated colors, like Almodovar or whatever, I always feel like it's lacking color grading.
Right.
I'm a big fan of the DSAT world, but that's just a matter of personal taste. That shouldn't be like the reason to do something. But the reason is actually there in the narrative. The reason is that one of the influences was this movie that is not a horror movie. This movie with Will Smith, directed by Anton Fuqua, called Emancipation, about the slaves. You saw it from a few years
Yep.
back by Apple. That movie, I love that tone. How I told my DP, it's not black and white because black and white is not so interesting for me. But making a world with no color is more interesting than black
Yeah.
and white because there is
And
color, but it's
specifically
beautiful.
specific colors, not to kind of highlight certain things that you
And,
want to
and, and
highlight
for
to
me
the
that
audience. No?
Yeah, and for me that serves as a metaphor to that we live in a world with no light, a world with no hope, a world with no joyfulness, and therefore a world with no color. However, the hope lies in the past. That's why the pictures they see from the past, or the drawings they make, or the children's book they read, or the movie they see on TV, it's in full color because hope
Yeah.
lies in the past. And even in the end of the movie, when they're leaving the house and they look at the Christmas photo, that is with color. And I love this letterbox review somebody wrote when the film just premiered, Fantasia, saying it said memories are brighter. That was a review. And I'm like, yeah, he got the movie because that's how it works all the time. Don't you think like, oh, last year I was happier doing this, and you forget to live the present, and then in one year you will be thinking about this day, saying, oh, I was
Yeah.
happy that day. So it's actually a very profound metaphor what I do in the color. I
No,
mean,
it really, really
maybe
is.
maybe
Yeah.
too on the nose, but it's still a way to use the color to tell the story.
No, I
So
mean
yeah,
that was the reason that was the first question I asked you because that's kind of the thing that really stuck with me. Like you said, it's kind of like almost like a memory when you remember the film, kind of you
yeah,
remember it in
exactly.
those specific colors, that kind of the way it's graded, no?
Yeah, exactly. That was it. And then the other thing too, we use anamorphic lenses. We use a black promise, which is a filter that blows up the highlights, and all that is to make you feel like you're in this world made by children, almost like in a fable, like almost like in a dark fairy tale. So yeah, that was
Mm.
the reason for that.
Oh, it works, but for me, it worked fantastic anyway. I loved it. So, and
Thank you.
listen, I
Thank
want to
you.
talk about the. I mean, you mentioned there the children. You wanted to kind of create this kind of children's world, which is what I really appreciate about this movie because it is kind of like about infected zombies, but it kind of it upends it. It turns it on its head in a way that we don't see. I mean, when people turn in typical zombie movies, they are
Yeah.
typically kind of people that are close, they're near and dearest kind of people in the family, you know, people we love. But because they've completely kind of zombified, they're just kind of like cannon fodder and they can get killed off and there's no really kind of emotional impact. Whereas here, without giving anything away from about the movie, I love the way that what happens because of the people that end up with the virus or turn into these zombies. What the kids do is kind of it just completely upends the zombie genre, which I loved about that.
Yeah, the kids, the kids were fantastic. I think they carry the entire movie on their shoulders.
Yeah,
Somebody told me once, man, you managed to make a 2-hour movie with three characters who are children, and I mean, and there's the parents and there's the girl, but they appear less. And it was very important to find the right kids for the role.
I
A
imagine. Yeah,
film teacher used to say, casting is 50%. I think when you're working with kids, casting is like 80% because you got to find the kids that would embody these roles. And finding Benjamin, the little kid, was really easy. Then Oliver, the one in the middle, we struggle a bit more, but the hardest was to find Salvador, the older kid, because
yeah.
we wanted somebody who would seem younger. I mean, originally in the script, that role was like 11,
I
12
think
years
they were all
old.
going to be about similar ages, no? Quite
Yeah, yeah,
close to each
I
other,
didn't
no?
want, because now you look at the movie and you feels like one teenager, two kids. But my initial vision was to have three kids, and the older would be like 11, 12, just entering adolescence. And then when that scene plays out with the girl, it was going to play out completely different. However,
Right,
because that role is somebody who is, very authoritative figure, and almost like a military general, and yelling all the time and mad. It's almost like a father figure. It was really tough on kids that were 11, 12, because to do that and to yell and to fight is also a very physical role. It almost looked like they were faking it, like they were acting, like
right,
you wouldn't buy it. So my casting director told me, why don't we age him up? We go 17, 18. I really fought against that, but at the end you have to listen to your team. And then we found Felix, and he was great. And I had to kind of compromise that scene with Valeria, with the girl. I mean, she's
right.
still much older than him. He is 18, she's 25. Somebody told me once that you can tell the age of a person by the eyes, and she's still much older, but still, because she kind of looks young, he kind of looks old. They look like they could be almost the same age hooking up, but it still kind of works. It works out
No,
way,
it works, yeah.
and I had
Because
to
of the
give him.
predicament they're in, I think it doesn't really matter if there is a slight age difference anyway, no?
Yeah, there
Because of
is a
the
slight difference, and I had to give in on
yeah.
that sense of, oh, a little kid with a girl, in order for something that would work out better throughout the entire movie. So that's what making movies is all about, decisions. Yeah.
Mhm. What I really, really loved about the movie, I love about movies that kind of terrify you, but at the same time they manage to pack some real funny punches in there. And this
Yeah.
has got some really curious, almost slapstick at times. I mean, like the Christmas scene, for example, without giving anything away, is it's so terrifying, but it's so funny at the same time. Those kind of things, they're really, really difficult to pull off. So, how much did you find yourself kind of second guessing yourself when it came to the comedy kind of sketches in the film to make sure that they were as terrifying as they were horrifying at this, that terrifying as they were humorous at the same time?
Yeah, well, the film is being sold as a horror movie, and of course
Yeah.
that makes sense because that's what sells tickets. But for me, it's way more than that. I don't like to be a storyteller that only arrives and delivers one genre. I like to open up my coat and give you a full ride that has, you know, drama, coming of age, some sexual romantic tension, of course, horror, and the comedy. I mean, you look at the Bong Joon-ho movie, and I don't want to be pretentious comparing myself, but
Yeah.
that guy is not making sci-fi or horror or comedy. He's making cinema. That's cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema is not one genre. It's a combination, and that's what I want to do with Párvulos. The comedy aspect of it, I wouldn't call it a comedy per se, but I do agree.
No, no, but there's certain things there
It's
that
it's,
just
it's
work
the
so
thing
well.
is,
Yeah.
something that happens in my movie, especially the ones that have more control of, like the incident and the similars. I call it the flirtiness with the bizarre, or with the B movie aspects. That can be outrageous or disgusting for some viewers, or can be funny depending on your sensibility, your openness. So that's why that seems funny. I do agree it's a lighter tone that throws out a lot of people. Some people tell me, oh, when that happened, I stopped taking the movie seriously. I don't like it
Really?
when it
Yeah.
combines with comedy. And some people love it. And but regardless if you love it or hate it, it's there for a specific reason, which is makes you feel that roller coaster. And I think when the lighter tone comes halfway through the movie, you lower your guard and you're like, okay, this is a funny
Yeah.
movie. And then you don't expect how bleak it's gonna get in the end, where it gets totally bleak. So that was the intention. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I
I'm
want to
quite curious
make
because
a movie that I want to make a movie that would feel very tender and sweet, and at the same
yeah.
time very, very bleak and tragic.
Uh-huh. I mean, it felt very timely because I was like thinking about these things right now because of what's going on in the world. People make light, have a laugh about what's going on and kind of like Donald Trump and all these things, but at the same time, what we're laughing about is terrifying at the same time. So this is
Yeah.
like it's very very timely in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the idea, exactly, to laugh about something that is horrifying. Yeah.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about um it's very, very, it felt very kind of Spielbergian as well, very 70s, 80s. A lot of your films do feel very kind of retro at the same time. But is there any specific reason why this one specifically? I mean, we see them watching kind of an old kind of movie, and all the kind of things that we see there is very kind of 80s, 90s. It's not there's no kind of new technology there. Was there any specific reason for that? Was that to maybe to keep it timeless, or was that just kind of your inspiration was saying that you needed these kind of props and this kind of setting?
Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of the coming of age subgenre. You know, I love Stranger Things. I grew up watching coming of age stories. My last two movies are coming of age. I think Evil Eye was a very feminine coming of age, and then Párvulos is a very masculine coming of age. I'm doing like kind of like my epiphany of the coming of age subgenre with this. And yeah, I mean the three greatest coming of age creators of our times, which for me are Stephen King, Steven Spielberg, which you mentioned, and obviously Guillermo del Toro with movies like Pan's Labyrinth and The Devil's Backbone. I always say, you know, Evil Eye was kind of like my Pan's Labyrinth, and this one is my Devil's Backbone, and
Yeah,
but I did them upside down. And I really like to embody that essence of kids that begin as children when the movie begins and end up being adults, and the whole life happens between them in that stage of the movie, right? Now, as far as the you know lack of technology and all that you mentioned about the house, for me that's more like a I guess like a characteristic of the dystopia. I really love dystopias that we go back in time instead of moving forward, you know, with no electricity, no internet, no technology. I know it's not original, has been done before, but for me those dystopias are way more interesting than the technological dystopias with
sure. It gives
robots
you
and
more
all that.
space to tell a story as well, no?
Give you more space to tell a story, like how we go back in time. And also I wanted to make all this atmosphere and the house and everything feel like it's something that is made by children, almost like the lost children of Peter Pan or Mad
Yeah.
Max and Thunderdome, you know, like this world completely controlled by children, Lord of the Flies. And any object or anything that is in the house is its use has been completely changed by the children. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and apart from children, everyone says you shouldn't work with kids and animals. Um, whenever, especially in the horror genre, whenever an animal uh, gets killed off or something bad happens to an animal, especially a domestic animal, fans aren't very happy with those kind of things. If a human gets killed, it's no problem. But if
Yeah.
it's an animal, it's a big problem. But in
That's a
this
problem.
case,
You
it's
know,
exactly the opposite for you, no?
I've had people saying they had to stop watching the movie in the first
Yeah.
5 minutes because of the dog. I mean, it's not a spoiler. I can
The
tell you the
dog, I
dog
don't know.
died.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, I didn't want to say,
there's a
but yeah,
website.
that really put
There's a
me off because
website
I'm a
that
big
it's
dog fan. Yeah.
yeah. There's a website called Does the Dog Die in the Movie, where people log in and
All
they
right.
put the title of the movie they're watching, and because some people just can't stand it. I mean, and I love dogs, but you know, originally on the script stage, a lot of people told me, "Why do you kill a dog? You're going to alienate a lot of your audience."
Yeah.
A lot of people told me, "Why didn't you just kill like a squirrel or like just any other
Squirrel.
type of animal?" But the whole point is that they have to do something that is man's best friend. And yeah, it looks like when it happens, you're really disappointed at them. But then later on in the movie, you see what they're doing it, and it makes sense, right? That was the idea.
Brilliant. Listen, they give me the wrap. So listen, thanks so much for your time, Isaac. I hope to see you again
Thank you.
sometime soon. I constantly go to Sieges, never managed to bump into you, so hopefully I'll bump into you sometime soon.
Oh, I wish you could have seen this in CJs. It was amazing.
Yeah. No, I wasn't there this year. No, I'm living in Bilbao in the
You're in the
north of
UK, right?
Spain.
You're in the,
I'm
where
in
are you
Bilbao in
from?
the north of Spain.
Oh, you're in
You must have
Spain,
heard of the
great.
fan. You know the fan. You must have heard of the fan film festival, no? In,
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Bilbao.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we need to get you over there sometime. Yeah.
yeah, I know the festival. I hope I can go again
Yeah.
sometime.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks so much for your time. Wish you the best of luck with the film when it comes out. It's come out today.
It's
So
coming
I
out
wish you the
today
best
in
of luck with it.
theaters in
It's
the
coming out
US.
today in the US. Yeah. So
Today
congratulations
in
on
the US.
that.
So thank you for the interview, and hopefully you can help people. You spread the voice with people that go to the
Yeah.
cinema.
I'm gonna edit it right away and get it online as soon as
Thank you.
possible.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much,
Take
Howard,
care.
and
Nice
good
to meet
finally
you.
meet you.
Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Caminan por la tierra sonando su trompeta. Cuando el mundo acabe, estás con ellos. ¿O estás de